welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be teaching you guys how to fix feathers. So I'm in the kitchen right now and you'll know why in a minute. So basically, in my free time I like to collect feathers, but sometimes feathers just happen to be ruined like this. There's a way that can kind of pull them back intact. You can see there's another one kind of ruined. There's a way to kind of put these, I'm going to call them threads. They're threads back together. But something to know, with something like this much damage, it might not go to its potential form. It might not go back to its max potential. So what you can hear and see behind me is I have a pot of water boiling right now. And the reason for that is because I have to create steam. There are two parts into fixing these feathers. First of all, creating steam, and then having something that can blow air. For me, I have this tiny little shop vac right here with a reverse pipe coming from the back so it can blow. Most of you guys, this will just be a blow dryer. So yeah. Now, one thing to note, these are actual real feathers, not store-bought feathers. So I'm not sure if the same thing will apply to store-bought feathers, mainly because they're the really colorful ones are obviously painted. But also disinfect your feathers. If these are real genuine feathers, not from a store, disinfect them, please. So our first step is to, of course, steam it. So I just have the feather over the boiling pot getting some steam. I'm gonna kind of create a damp. Now, there is actual machines dedicated to this exact purpose, but I don't really have this as a profession, so needing something like that isn't necessary to me. So I have to go with this kind of home style engineering kind of a thing. I'm also flipping the feather back and forth like if I was cooking it over a fire. But don't actually put your feather over a fire because it needs steam, not smoke. So you're just going to kind of create a damp. And whenever I have the shop vac going, you won't be able to hear me and what I'm doing. So I'll have to kind of explain it before doing it. And there are dogs at the door. I'll be right back. Come in, dog. Okay. So, whenever I have the shop vac, basically you want to remake the shape of the feather. So, at the end of the hose, normally I'd come in from the side and kind of just sweep back and forth onto the feather to kind of realign the bristles back together. And I'll do that for both sides. And with feathers you kind of know this, but here's kind of a refresher. They are very fragile, so just know that if you keep continuously blowing it, there's a chance you could re-break the threads apart again. Yeah, and normally with feathers with this much damage, you would need to do 2 or 3 rounds of blowing it, letting it sit, and then reapplying it under the steam. So this is exactly what I'm going to do. This has a lot of power, so I'm going to have to create a lot of distance between feather and shop vac. So hopefully if I can remember how to do this. I don't know if you saw that, but you can kind of see they curl up a little bit. That happens sometimes, but it just means you have to do it over again. We're basically just softening up the bristles and then reforming them. When you're just boiling water, it's never really good for the pot if you let it run dry out of water. So make sure to refill it before it gets to that point. Okay, let's try for round 2. I think it's looking a little better. There was something just like this. It's hard to tell. Let's do it on another feather. Something with a little less damage, like this. So we're gonna do it again. We're putting it over the steam, twisting it back and forth every now and again. Make sure it gets plenty on both sides. I'm not sure if there's any way to like make sure that the bristles stay together once you fix them, but I'm sure there's some way to like wax them up or something. You see there? Massive difference. You can see they kind of came together, but on the back, you know, you always have that problem with the curling because of the wind. So I'm gonna go back in round 2. It's kind of a slow process of fixing the feathers, of also just making sure that you don't damage them in the process. We're just having that back and forth motion with the wind to kind of like just nudge it back in its original formation, basically. Water sounds really good sizzling, but unfortunately there's no delicious smell. So that's basically the process of fixing the feathers, that same motion. So I hope you guys learned something, and please subscribe, leave a like. Bye!